Hi everybody, this is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. Welcome to lesson number 52. In this lesson, we will introduce the student to the concept of using schwa on I in an open syllable. Let's get started by setting up the table. You'll need your top 160 sight word list, the sight word study method instruction sheet, the card pack on which the student is currently working, some blank index cards, a highlighter, markers, and some pencils. For the short vowel drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheet, the keyword pictures, and the keyword sentence. For the phonemic awareness drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheet and the colored tiles for the student. Moving on to the visual drill and auditory drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheets and the student's card pack. For the syllable card drill, you will have to cut this one out in advance and have it all set up on the table. Remember that you can scramble it or unscramble it as much as you think that will work for the student. So inhabit, for example, in this example, is not scrambled at all. I have the first three rows scrambled, and then the last two words are not scrambled at all. So adapt as you feel is necessary for your student. The magnetic letter tile and drills for spelling and reading go with the cookie sheet with the magnetic letter tile spread in a rainbow shape. Then we'll need the syllable pounding instruction sheet, the new phoneme grapheme kinesthetic discovery sheet, and the sheets for the lesson. Notice that the scooping syllable sheet also comes with a teacher answer key, which will help you. And then we'll have the regular sheets. Actually, we'll have a schwa sheet as well because we're introducing the sound that I makes when it's schwad, and I thought it would be good to have a sheet that has all the different sounds on there. Then we'll have the regular sheets that you're used to seeing, which include the single word list, the short story, and the 3 sentences for the writing section. In addition, you'll have the drill that we did for schwa on A, which you'll find in lesson 50. You've already created that one. And you'll have to cut out this one, which is what we'll use for teaching the new concept, schwa in the open syllable when it's on the letter I. In addition to all of that, you might have a timer on the table. This will be used if you have introduced the fluency element. You'll do this when the student has developed some fluency with phonemic awareness and decoding. Then you'll be ready to work on speed. Fluency is speed, accuracy, and natural expression. You'll need a secondary program such as Read Naturally or the 6-minute reading solution to do this. Let's start with the sight word study method. Student, you'll need your card pack for this one. Take out the cards on which you're currently working. I'd like you to read through each card. When you read a word correctly, you'll put a check mark in the corner of the card. Teacher, you're ready with blocking strategies in case the student encounters difficulties. When the student finishes reading the words, the student hands the card pack to the teacher, and then it's the teacher's turn to read. The teacher reads each word, and the student writes it down. When a word is written correctly, use the other corner of the card to put a check mark. And when you're finished, you can have a discussion about which of those words has been mastered. And if any have, then you can remove them from the card pack. This leaves you space, so if you have time, you can introduce a new sight word. Let's do the short vowel drill. And if you've already mastered the short vowel sounds, then this drill will be discontinued. If not, then you'll grab your keyword pictures, and with 2 fingers, you'll trace the keyword shape, saying the keyword, apple. And then you'll underline it and say the sound of ah. Do this as many times as your teacher deems necessary, and then move on to the next keyword. Once you've moved through all the pictures, then you can take out the sentence, and you'll say the keyword sentence, stretching out the vowel sounds as you do it. Let's do the phonemic awareness drill. You'll need the colored tiles for this one. Your word is not. Can you repeat that word? I might say, I will not have a piece of cake. Okay, now I'd like you to build the word not with your colored tiles. Okay, and then tap it and say it. You should have 3 different colored tiles down there. Okay, find the t in not. Now take it away. And what are you left with? Tap it and say it. Okay, did you say ah? Now I'd like you to turn the ah into an o. What's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get N-O, no? If you did, that's right. Find the N in no. Change the N into a G and tap it and say it. Did you get go? If you did, that's right. Find the G in go. Change it to a M. What's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get mo? If you did, that's right. Find the O in mo. Change the O into an E. And what's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get me? If you did, that's right. Find the M in me and change it to a B. Tap it and say it. Did you get B? If you did, that's right. Now, take a new tile and call it T. Add it to B, and what's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get beat? If you did, that's right. Now change the E in beat to an E, and what's your new word? Did you get bet? If you did, that's right. Great work. You can put your tiles away. Let's do the visual drill. Student, you're going to need your card pack for this one. The teacher flashes a card and student says the sound. So student, what's this one? Did you say it? If you did, that's right. Teacher, you can do 6 to 8 flashcards in this way and then come back to me. Now let's do the auditory drill. Student, you'll have the same card pack for this one, but this time it begins, your teacher will have the cards, but not show them to you at first. The teacher says the sound. Student, your sound is J. Can you repeat that sound? Now I'd like you to write all the symbols you know for J. And as you do that, say the sound again. And then underline the symbols and say the sound again. So you've said the sound 3 times before this drill is done. Then we check the work. Did you write down J can say J? If you did, that's right. Did you also write down that G can say J? Because that's true. When G is followed by an E, I, or Y, it will say its soft sound of J. Okay, teacher, you can do 6 to 8 flashcards in this way. Let's do the syllable card drill. Your teacher has this one all set up on the table for you. You'll read down each column, all the syllables, and then you'll read across each row making nonsense words. Then it's time to unscramble things, and you'll make real words. As you make the real words in that last step, I want you to discuss the meanings of the different words and put some of them into sentences. Let's do some syllable pounding. Remember, a syllable is, remember our hand gestures? Let's do it together. A syllable is a word or part of a word with one vowel pattern. Let's say that one more time. A syllable is a word or part of a word with one vowel pattern. So when we're listening for how many syllables are in a word, what we're really saying is we're listening for how many vowel sounds. You can either do it by pounding it out this way, or you can put your hand under your chin. Shawna. There's 2 vowel sounds in my name, so my chin hit my hand twice. You can choose the method. Either way, here's your first one. Punishment. Can you say that word? How many syllables in punishment? Punishment. I hear 3. Ick. How many? I hear 1 in that one. I just hear the I sound. How about dog? That one has 1, just the ah sound. Dogmatic. That one has 3. That was one of the ones we used in your syllable card drill. I wonder if you guys discussed the meaning of dogmatic. That would be a good thing to do. Your next one is hab. How many? Did you say 1? That's true. I just hear the ah sound in hab. Hab's not a word on its own, but that's a base that means to live. So try this one. Inhabit. How many syllables in that one? I get 3 on that one. So Inhabit. If have means live and we're adding in, live in, and it is referring to the place where you're living in, the place that you live in is the place you inhabit. So your house is the place you inhabit. Okay, great work. Let's go on to the scooping syllables sheet. And teacher, there is an answer key provided for you today. You can keep an eye on the time, teacher. You might not have time to do all of the words on the sheet, but you definitely want to take out your scooping syllable instruction sheet and the scooping syllable worksheet, and you guys can work through that together. We've been talking about this concept of schwa. Remember you made a rule card about this? I wonder if you could take the rule card out now. And your teacher has a schwa drill set up on the table. We've done this one already. It's one that we did in lesson 50. Teacher and student, can you have a quick discussion about what is this schwa that we've been talking about? Do that now, and then you can go through the drill. So far, we've learned that this schwa sound is this habit that we have when we're speaking of messing around with the vowel sounds. We're so lazy, we add this instead of saying the vowel sound correctly in an open syllable. So we would say maze instead of a maze, or a go instead of a go. It does speed things up and it is easier to do, but when we try to read something or spell something, we need to know that this is happening, or else especially with spelling, because we'd be writing U's everywhere if we didn't know about this schwa. And it is the most common vowel sound, so it's really useful to know that this is happening. Usually, it's going to make the sound when we schwa a vowel. But there is one case that we're going to talk about today. That's when we schwa the letter I. And often it'll make the I sound rather than an sound when we schwa it. So it'll make the short sound of I, when really it's an open syllable, so it should be making the long sound of I. Let's look at how that works. If we look at the drill that your teacher has set up on the table, we would tap out the first syllable, s, e, n. And then we'd be thinking, what type of syllable is that? Is it a closed syllable, an open syllable? What is it? Well, that's a closed, so that's why it's making the eddy sound. Then we have s, I. There's no babysitter closing in the I, so that's an open syllable. The I should be saying its name. But right above it, we have that little schwa symbol, the upside down E. And so that's going to tell us that we're going to schwa it. When an I is schwad, it will say I. So we have sen, si. And then we have this T-I-V-E. In this case, the E is just doing this job of stopping the V from ending the word. So it'll say tiv. Sen, si, tiv. So let's put it all together here. Sensitive. Sensitive. And that's how you do the drill. Then you'll take your little schwa and you'll move it to the next word. And you'll walk through that process of tapping and saying it and discussing what syllable type it is so you'll know how to read it. And then going on to the next one. And if you have the schwa, you know if it's an I that's being schwad, you're going to say I. And then we've got n, 8 with the silent E. And you're going to discuss this, teacher, because you haven't taught that syllable type, so you can walk the student through it. Let's do the magnetic letter tile drill for reading. You'll need your cookie sheet for this one with your letters spread in a rainbow shape. We're going to make this word in syllables, and the first syllable is So if I say the first syllable is and you hear that sound all by itself, choose the correct letter and bring it to the middle. The next sound is and this is the second syllable. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. The next sound is I. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And the last sound is D. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Okay, so we have this one tile that we said was and then we have the I, and D. So let's tap out that second syllable and read it, because there's nothing untoward there. Okay, so tap it, say it. Did you get mid? Okay, now read the first that syllable, that sound, and put it together with the mid, and you get a mid. So then your question is, what is that how did you spell it? Did you write A? So the whole word is A-M-I-D? If you did, that's correct. Put your tiles away and let's try a new word. Okay, we're going to do a big one this time, 3 syllables. So here's your first syllable. The first sound is K. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. The next sound is Ah. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. The next sound is Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. So that's your first syllable. So let's tap that and say it. Okay, did you get C-O-M and say calm? If you did, that's correct. Let's do syllable number 2. The next sound is P. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. The next sound is ol. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. The next sound is I. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap it and say it. Okay, did you get P-L-I and say it as pli? If you did, that's right. And that's an open syllable. There's no babysitter closing in the I. So we would expect that to be ply, but it's getting schwad. So that's why it says that short I sound. So now read the syllable 1 and syllable 2. So tap it and say it. Okay, so you've got calm, pli. Now let's do syllable number 3. Your sound is Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Eh. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. N. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. T. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap that syllable and say it. Did you get meant? If you did, that's correct. A nice close syllable. So now let's put all 3 syllables together to read the word. Did you get compliment? If you did, that's right. Great work. Teacher, if you have time, you could go do a 3rd word in this way. And if not, then you can move on to the single word list. After that, you'll have the student read the short story. And if you've added a fluency piece, it will come right after that short story. Do all that and then come back to me. Let's do the magnetic letter tile drill for spelling. Student, you'll need your cookie sheet with the letters in a rainbow shape for this one. We're going to spell a very big word, but we're going to show you that big words are really just small parts put together. And if we think of it that way, it's very easy to spell whatever we want. Your word is optimistic. Can you repeat that word? Optimistic means that you are hopeful that you will have a good outcome. So I might say, I am optimistic that it will be a sunny day and I will get to go swimming. Okay, let's try to spell this one. So let's take it syllable by syllable. The first syllable is op. So what's the first sound that you hear in op? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the second sound that you hear in op? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. The second syllable in this word is t. What's the first sound that you hear in t? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the second sound that you hear in t? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now let's do the third syllable. Miss. Can you repeat that? What's the first sound that you hear in miss? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in miss? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in miss? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Okay, there's one more syllable, tick. Can you repeat that? Okay, what's the first sound that you hear in tick? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the next sound that you hear in tick? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in tick? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Okay, you've got a big word there. Let's tap it and say it so you get the whole word. Do that now. And did you spell that word OPTIMISTIC? If you did, that's right. Some of the tricky things, we heard T, and we had to understand that the schwa was happening there, because in an open syllable, we would expect that to be tie, because usually in an open syllable, the I is saying its name. And then miss. If miss was a one-syllable word, we would spell it M-I-S-S. But that spelling rule in the closed syllable is all about if it's a one-syllable word. And this is not. This is a big word. It's got lots of syllables in it. And in the same way, tick, at the end of this word, you spelled it T-I-C. You didn't apply the CK rule because, once again, that's for one-syllable bases, right? And this is a multi-syllable word. It's really important to know that a lot of those closed syllable rules that we learned are about what to do with a one-syllable word. Great work. If there's time, your teacher can do another word in this way. And if not, then we'll move right on to writing single words. So you will need a lined paper and a pencil. I would like you to tap it out. And as you tap it, you'll say the sounds. Or if you prefer, you could write the letter on your body and say the sound that it makes as you do it. And then after you tap it and say it, you will write it down. So here is your word. Compliment. Can you say that word? Okay, when I tell you something that I like about you, I'm giving you a compliment. Okay, I want you to hear that word in parts first. So let's just say the three parts. Compliment. And I want you to tap each syllable and write each syllable. Compliment. Try that now. And teacher can check the work. And then teacher, if there's time, you can have the student do more words in this way. Okay, and then after you finish doing your single words, as many of you as you have time to do, you'll move on to the writing section. The teacher reads the 3 sentences and the student chooses 2 that will be written. After the student writes a sentence, the student checks the work with chops. Let's do a quick review before you go. In today's lesson, I gave you a schwa rule card to help you remember the different sounds that schwa can make when it's on the different vowels. Can you take that card out now? You can use that to guide you. So I'm wondering, when an A gets schwa'd, what sound will it make? Did you say, If you did, that's right. How about on an E? What schwa sound will it make there? You can look at your paper to give you guidance. That one makes an as well. And how about when an O gets schwa'd? 3 for 3, it makes the sound again. But today we learned about the situation when an I gets schwa'd. And instead of making that sound, which we've come to expect on the schwa, this one makes a short I sound of I. Okay, so let's do a quick review. What sound does this guy make when he's schwa'd? What sound does this one make when it's schwa'd? What sound does this one make when it's schwa'd? And what sound does this one make when it's schwa'd? Okay, let's do, I'm going to show you a word. And it looks like a really big word. But these big words are now not hard at all for you. All we have to do is see the word in parts. So if we see that this is really, let's make a little division so you can see the parts. Okay, so we have 3 syllables here. And the first syllable is a nice closed syllable, so you know exactly what to do. This will have its closed syllable sound. So how do you read this one? Tap it and say it. So that's calm. PLI is the next syllable. There's no babysitter, so we know that's an open syllable, and we would expect that to say the I sound. But we have the schwa symbol, that upside down E, to tell us that it's getting schwad. When an I gets schwad, what sound does it make? It says I, so that is ple. And then read your last syllable, which is a nice closed syllable, nothing crazy happening there. And put it all together. And tap it and say it. Did you get compliment? If you did, that's right. And right now I'll give you a compliment. You did a great job today. That's the end of lesson 52. This is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy.